the former NFL quarterback, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, and a member of Football Night America. Chris Sims back with us. Let's start with Taysom Hill. Did you get the sense that the media was rooting against Taysom Hill in this game against Atlanta?
Oh, I don't know if I got the sense they were rooting against him. Maybe people were surprised, one, that Jameis Winston didn't get the nod to be the starter. I mean, I know what you're saying. It does seem to be a sense out there that, like, oh, Taysom Hill can't be a quarterback and he hasn't played enough. And there is that element. But, man, the position he was in yesterday, it was choppy. It didn't look great early. But I was pretty impressed for a guy who hasn't played snaps in the NFL as a starting quarterback yet, and what he did and kind of how he managed the game, and slowly but surely made some plays to go along with it.
Do you think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL?
I'd like to see more before I throw that in there. And the first thing is, Dan, like, I think you'd be on board with this. If Sean Payton thinks he does, then it's hard for me not to think that too. I mean, he's a damn good coach. He's obviously one of the best offensive minds we've had in football over the last 20 years. He's got all the skills and everything there to be a starting quarterback. You could see the arm is real. You know, he does have nice patience and poise in the pocket. You know, threw a lot of nice intermediate throws to Michael Thomas and doing that type of stuff. And then his scrambling ability. So it might not look like Drew Brees or anything like that. But, yeah, I think his skill set and the way he throws the football, and it seems like his mental demeanor, lends him to being a potential starting quarterback, and a good one at that.
My only curiosity with this was you had Sean Payton, this great offensive-minded head coach, saying, I need to see what I have in Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
You had to wait to put him in a real game as a starting quarterback to see what you had with a 30-year-old? That was the only thing that was surprising about that decision.
I agreed. I mean, that's where I wasn't sure if he would actually pull the trigger and make that move to just go, man, we're in the thick of things here. We could be the number one seed in the NFC. I don't think number one seed benefits any team more than the New Orleans Saints, and them being at home in that dome, Drew Brees inside, all of those things. So that's where I wasn't sure either, Dan. But, you know, obviously he felt like at least he was mentally ready for the challenge to a degree to step up and understanding the offense and doing all of that. And I think that in a lot of ways, I bet you Sean Payton liked the challenge of, let me see how I can diversify my offense. What other elements can I add here? And really, in the perfect world, you'd hopefully, you know, towards the playoffs or end of the year, they could almost merge both offenses together to get a little of the best out of both worlds and make Taysom Hill a legitimate part of the offense, because he's a pretty skilled guy.
I know we're looking at the end result with Joe Burrow. He was, over 400 attempts. They were always behind. He was on pace to have at least, be sacked 50 times. Was the Bengals' approach irresponsible with Joe Burrow, a rookie throwing the ball that many times behind an offensive line that was sort of makeshift?
Well, I had argued that there was weeks where I really talked about on Pro Football Talk with Florio and things like that they better be careful, that they were flirting with danger. And really their number one objective for the year would be, get Joe Burrow better and comfortable, but don't get him hurt. They were almost go hand in hand. And man, he went through a year of, really towing the line of, like you said, big shots. Crazy big shots. Not just like, oh, he got beat up, but like a few weeks where we're going, oh my gosh, like, is he going to get up? There was a lot of that. And to me, that did bother me. I know they're trying to win a football game, but I do think with where they at in their franchise and the fact that he is their franchise, there should have been a little bit more emphasis on, let's protect him. Yeah, we might look a little bit uglier, but we're at least going to be healthy going into 2021 with a really damn good quarterback.
I thought that the Dolphins, Brian Flores just said, I can't leave Tua out there. He was sacked 6 times. The last one looked like he landed a little awkwardly. It was, lower leg. Right. It felt like he was struggling a little bit, but that might have been just self-preservation to take him out and bringing in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I think so. It was Vic Fangio's a good defensive mind. It did look like, and again, I'll be tempted to watch the film and really get the answers. But, yes, under pressure in the pocket, but also a lot of plays where I think you saw it the same way, where he's in the pocket, it's pretty good, and he doesn't want to throw. Nobody's open. He's not sure what he's looking at, whatever that reason may be. Obviously, the offense wasn't clicking on all cylinders, and this is where, we still have to see more of Tua. This was the first game where it was kind of like, hey, the special teams, the defense, they're not dominating today. You're going to have to make some plays, and the bootlegs and just the one-on-one fade balls aren't going to be there. And, now we'll see as we go forward if Tua can take that next, step up in his level of development and say, hey, when the team's not doing good, don't worry, guys, get on my left shoulder and I'll throw the ball around the lot and make things happen.
Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live, co-host on Peacock. You had a top 10 list. Was that last week? And Ben Roethlisberger was not on your top 10 quarterback list?
Right. Yeah.
How much feedback did you hear from Steeler fans?
Well, yeah, I did. I heard a lot from the Steeler fans. I had to stop looking at my social media. I had people from Pittsburgh calling me, as far as the radio stations wanting to get me on there. Hey, Big Ben's playing awesome. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of damn good quarterbacks in football right now. I would argue there's not a quarterback problem. You've heard me say this before. There's an offensive coordinator problem. There's not a quarterback problem. Big Ben is amazing, but I just think the thing I have, Dan, where I just left him out, right, is he's on a really good team. We know he's got great weapons, and they got a defense that's unbelievable. A lot of these other quarterbacks I got in the top 10, the game is dictated by the quarterback. Their team is built around that, what he can do. They apply pressure on team through the quarterback. With Pittsburgh, just like you saw yesterday, yeah, the end result looked good, but hey, there's been some underwhelming performances. He has the defense to sit there and create plays, and he can take his time. Ooh, wait, so it looks ugly, and then they get a feel in the third quarter what you're doing, and he hits some big plays and all that. It's amazing. I'm not trying to disrespect him. I have a ton of respect for him, but no, I don't think he's one of the 10 best in the game right now.
But I think he's in the top 5 MVP, though. Because I looked at the Steelers and I said, if Ben is healthy, they're the most dangerous, intriguing team going into this season. I just didn't know and still don't know if Ben can stay healthy the entire year, but everything else is there for them to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender, it sounds strange he's not in your top 10, but he might be in your top 5 MVP.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the world we're in. I mean, the MVP it's like the Heisman. It's just like, who's the best quarterback on the best team, and that's what we're going to give it to, and that's all it comes down to. So it's I understand that talk. He's doing a great job of managing football games. He hasn't made a lot of mistakes. I mean, he's really doing unbelievable things, and his ability to throw the ball down the field is still special. But I guess what I'm saying too, Dan, some of the guys they got in the top 10, they have far less help around them. They're capable of making a lot more happen on their own, off schedule, doing things like that. And that's where I don't look at him as being top tier anymore. And trust me, I'm a huge Big Ben fan. I think he is one of those guys that's kind of under the radar in the conversation for one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time. I think he's that good. But man, some of those guys I got in my top 10 list, they are special, special players.
Yeah, but you call him underrated, but you underrate him.
Well, it's 1 year. I'm talking about he's been playing since dinosaurs were walking the earth. Okay, so this is 1 year, and it is weird with the fact that yes, a 10-0 football team, and there is no true standout MVP candidate. But I think that speaks to the amount of studs they have on their football team in Pittsburgh there too. I mean, whether it's the 2 safeties yesterday, the pass rushers, Tua, Hayward. I mean, the receivers they got right now, there's a lot of guys that are making plays to help that football team win games. And I know the quarterback gets a lot of that credit, and I don't want to take anything away from him. But yeah, did. I just don't look at him that way. I did. Yes, I did.
How concerned should we be about the Ravens?
I think there's legitimate concern. I think you're seeing without Calais Campbell and then no Brandon Williams the last 2 weeks, they get pushed around a little bit in the run game. We're not used to seeing their defense get physically moved around that way. And then the biggest thing, again, we've talked, the league is caught up to the Lamar Jackson run scheme. Their offensive line isn't totally 100% healthy. And now we've hit to the point of, okay, so what's next, Baltimore? Who else? There's got to be something else to the offense. It can't just be run game and Mark Andrews in the pass game. That's all there is to it. There's no wide receiver involvement. There's no really creative pass schemes. There's no other element of the offense to look at right now to go, wait, as a defense, I have to worry about this guy or this thing they do. And that's where I worry about them, Dan.
McLovin brings up the Eagles and Carson Wentz every week. It's a topic. It's a national topic. We got to solve this. It's America's nightmare. We got to find out what's wrong with Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Should they just go to Jalen Hurts?
I don't think from all accounts, I don't know if Jalen Hurts is ready yet. I think they're at the point here where I would dabble with more of a Jalen Hurts wrinkle in the offense on a consistent basis. I think that's where I'd probably go more than anything. This is not a great offense. It's not great weapons, but they do need some other element. And Carson Wentz, I've been a defender of him. It's hard to defend it. I mean, it's crappy. It's careless. It's horrible pocket awareness. He's costing his team, and they can't make plays on offense. So maybe you bring a Jalen Hurts in kind of like the Taysom Hill type of fashion where, hey, we create some plays, some schematical advantages, do something like that. It can't hurt because their offense is sucky-ducky every week. I'm sorry.
Sucky-ducky.
Yes.
Sucky-ducky. Paulie, write that down.
Got it.
Technical term.
Yeah, sucky-ducky. Game more important tonight for the Rams or the Buccaneers?
I would say the Buccaneers. I don't know if that's a tough one. I'm not sure. It's so tough for both of them. Wow. I'd probably say the Buccaneers, though, because they're still kind of a work in progress. They've had the primetime failures, things like that. And, I don't know if they're concrete sold on their plan of attack yet. I hope they stay with what we saw last week. 2 tight ends underneath the center, run the ball. Brady is awesome off of play action and those deep passes. If they can do that, I think they'll win the game tonight.
The Rams have made 5 trips to the Eastern time zone in the last 9 games.
Right. That's amazing.
It doesn't seem fair.
No, it does not. But they're not going to make excuses. The one thing you could say about the Rams is they show up every week, ready to compete, tough. I've only seen them not show up once in the whole McVay era, and that was at last year's Monday night game against the Baltimore Ravens. Other than that, they're always ready to go. I do think the Bucs are a tough matchup for them. With the weapons, big offensive line. That's why I think you run the ball a little bit. It's a smaller defense with the Rams. And then on the other side of the ball, you would think with Shaq Barrett and JPP, they could stop that zone speed sweep stuff. The middle linebackers they have in Levante David and Devin White, they're going to be good sideline to sideline. I think they match up well. I think they win a close one.
Always great to see you. We appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks for joining us, bud.
You the man, Dan. Say hi to everybody. Be good.
That's Chris Sims from Football Night in America and also Pro Football Talk Live. You can see that on Peacock. The show precedes ours